Perfect. All right, we're recording now. All right, welcome, guys. So I wanted to do this impromptu training on objections, but it's really not just on objections. It's on mastering your communication skills as a whole. Because so many times we see objections as a negative thing, and a lot of us are afraid of them. But I'm gonna go into why objections are necessary, 100% necessary in what we do, and maintain control of the conversation is how you are going to overcome them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute people out. Mute all. Do you guys have any comments or questions as I go? Please throw it in the chat group. I will be looking at those. And then after my few slides that I go through, I'll open it up and we'll do some live training. So I was actually trying to get a few skeptical people on the Zoom with us so we could do a couple live ones. But nobody wanted to play with me today. So we'll have to just make do with what we have. Sharing screen, boom, boom, boom. If you guys can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So mastering objections, turning no's into yeses, and using objections to learn everything that we do here. In every aspect else of your life, we need to use it to learn. We want to grow as a person. I say this all the time that it's not, my goal is not to make you money, believe it or not. My goal is to make you the best version of yourself, the most educated version of yourself, which the byproduct of that will be making money. So if you're in this process of the system that we're using right now, just simply to make money and not learn, you're not going to do so well. You have to learn. You have to fall in love with learning. You have to fall in love with knowledge. And everything that you learn here can and will be used in other parts of your life. So stop thinking so one-sided as if like, oh, well, this isn't going to help me anywhere else in my life. I promise you that everything that we teach here can definitely and will be used in other parts of your life. And again, I'm always up for debate on that, so you can show me things that you might not think will be usable in other parts of your life, and I'll show you how we can. But objections. So what it really comes down to is bettering communication. Having better communication. These skills will help you with debates, with disagreements, with conversations. So again, this is a fundamental point in your life to learn how to communicate better with others. So your relationships will be better. Your interactions with strangers will be better. Your interactions with your boss or your employees at your other job will be better. It's just good fundamental psychology, human behavior, and skills that you can use elsewhere in life. So judo is an amazing martial art. And the whole point of judo is not to attack. The point of judo is to use the force of your attacker to counterbalance and counter. And so as you can see in my little fun gift here, he's using the momentum of the guy's punch to turn it back around against him. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to accomplish. When you're having a communication with somebody, when you're prospecting somebody and they're throwing objections at you, being aggressive and being the talker is not going to get you anywhere. That's going to get people even quicker to not listen to you. The whole point of it is to use what they're saying and do the key things that you need to do to overcome that. The first key thing is listen. Listen. We so often get ourselves in a situation where we're having a conversation prospecting somebody and we say something, and while they're talking or whatever they respond, we're just thinking of what our next thing to respond is. We're not actually listening to what that person's saying. You have to listen because your response has to play off of what they said to you. And so in order to truly understand that, you need to listen. A skill that is great to grow is thinking fast. Now, this is where some people get tripped up, and this is where this can be a messy process. That's just how it is. It's like a baby walking for the first time. It's not pretty. They're gonna fall down. They're gonna wobble, right? As the more they do it, the better they're gonna be. And so the more you're in the situation to overcome objections, to have conversations, the quicker your brain will start working and the faster you'll be able to think on your feet, which is key. So one of the key things I want you guys to take away from this, and I hope you guys are taking notes, is don't see an objection or any kind of scary situation as something bad. See it as an opportunity. Every time, and this happens to me often, I'm very confident with my debating skills, but there'll be times where someone throws something at me and I'm like, I don't know exactly how to overcome it. But instead of being freaked out and having that turn into a negative feeling, I see that objection as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to practice my skills. And so sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And in the very beginning of your communicational skills, it's going to be messy and you're going to make mistakes and it's going to be awkward. That's just how it is. But you get better with it with time. So remember, this is just like any other skill in life. You're going to get better with time. Understanding the other person is key. This is so key because so many of us just get into the enlightened mindset, right? I get it. I understand it. That was my hardest one to overcome for myself, because I never took the second to understand the other person, right? All of a sudden, we know what we know. Everybody on this call right now knows more about business and about that there's a better life out there than the average person. And so we forget what it feels like to be on the new side of it. We forget what we felt like and what we thought before we got enlightened. You can't do that. You have to put yourself back in their shoes. Otherwise, you're going to come off as arrogant, or you're going to disrespect the person, or it's just going to turn into a fight. You need to go back and understand, like, all right, this person's throwing a pyramid scheme objection at me. You can't get pissed at that, because chances are a year ago or however long ago before you joined this business, that was you. You have to remember that and say, okay, that's cool. I know how to overcome this, but I don't want to do it by crushing this person's soul. I want to let them know that I understand where they're coming from and understand the person. So I use this in every aspect of life. And most of you guys know me. I love to debate. I love to spark controversy and hear people's opinions. Even if if I fundamentally disagree with somebody about something, I will pause and put myself in their shoes and try to build an argument against myself. Does that make sense to everybody? Like if somebody is arguing with me about something and they have a complete opposite viewpoint, what I do is I try to put myself in their shoes and be like, all right, well, why are they thinking like this? If they're thinking like this, well, what do you think they're going to be arguing? And by trying to understand the other person's standpoint, one, you're going to understand where they're coming from much better, and you'll see things that you might have missed if you just stayed one-sided. But two, this is the best way to understand and stay ahead of the conversation, because if you put yourself in their shoes, you'll probably know their arguments before they even make them. Now, this is an advanced concept, and I want to pause this right now and say, if you're brand new on the call, this isn't something that you're going to learn like that. This is the best way to overcome objections is to listen to your mentor do it on a three-way call or through a verbiage group. That's the best way to do it. But what I'm trying to teach you guys the fundamental things to notice as you're listening to either me on a three-way call or your upline mentor on a three-way call, and say, oh, this is why he said that or she said that. This is why they're going this route, and start understanding the basis of it. Because here in Team Fusion, it is so simple to succeed. You just get people in front of your mentor. If you just get people in front of your mentor, you'll win. But I always have the mindset of you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. So you can absolutely just get me on three-way call after three-way call after three-way call for the rest of your life. But you won't grow as a person and as a leader by doing that for the next 15 years. Do that for the first 6 months. Get yourself established. Use me for that. But then in that process of that 6 months, learn why I'm saying what I'm saying. So 6 months from now, you now upgrade your leadership level and you can be doing it for somebody else. So things to remember: never get angry or defensive. This is very hard to do. I understand it. Some of us see objections as like a personal punch to the face and people taking shots at us. And don't get me wrong, some people do that. There's some people that are just mean and they're just trying to throw digs. You showing anger or defensiveness is putting you in a bad light. Never, ever, ever show anger or defensiveness, ever, because that's not helping your argument. Does that make sense? Everybody follow that? Like, if you're in a heated conversation through text message or through a Facebook message, take a break for a second. Calm down before you respond. You want to react with logic, not emotion. Not emotion. This is a logical, skilled craft of having a conversation, not just flying off the handle and starting to throw insults back and forth. Okay? The goal is not to humiliate somebody. The goal is to educate them. Now, again, I understand there's a for every rule there's an exception. There's some people out there that are just straight mean, and that's why I'm like, when I'm bored, throw me on the phone with someone skeptical, and I'll spin their head, and it will put them in a position where they learn their lesson not to do that again. But the whole goal is not to humiliate somebody and make someone feel less than. The goal is to educate them, because there was a point in time where every single one of us was as closed-minded or as uneducated as they were. Plain and simple. Like not one of us came out of the womb knowing everything. And so we have to stop thinking like that and remember that we're not here to humiliate people or fight with people. We're here to educate them. Use every objection as practice. Use these conversations. Go out there and make mistakes. Go out there and have conversations and make mistakes. It's going to happen, but it's practice. The more you're talking to people, the better you're going to be. The most efficient way to overcome any objection is to use your mentor. I've covered that. Knowledge is power. So this goes to learning the skills that I'm going to show you right now, but it also goes to just understanding the world around us. This is why I spend time every day learning about the economy, learning about technology, learning about current events, learning about psychology. I want to be the Dos Equis guy. I want to be the most interesting man in the world. That's what I want. I want to know enough about everything where I can hold an intelligent conversation with anybody about any subject. And that comes with time, but that comes with, instead of me watching entertainment, which don't get me wrong, I watch entertainment from time to time, but for the most part, if I'm filling my mind with something, I'm not driving in the car listening to music. I'm driving in the car listening to podcasts. I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm just putting good stuff in my mind because everything ends up being relevant with everything else. Trust me. I can be watching a podcast about the banking system, and somehow, some way, I'll be able to relate the information that I hear to a three-way call with someone that I end up getting on the phone with and using it to overcome an objection. So just in the process, again, this is a learning process. Most people go to school for 4 years, kind of pay attention enough to pass tests to get a paper degree to hopefully have a 47% chance to make money. With this, use the next 4 years to actually learn as much as you possibly can about as much as you possibly can. So that way, 4 years from now, you'll have a much better situation where you can have intellectual conversations about any subject and not feel the anxiety. That's what we get. We get anxiety when we get into a conversation where we can't hold our own. And holding your own comes with knowledge and know your prospect. Like, this is where questions come into play, because it's very hard to overcome objections or even maintain a conversation if you don't know who you're talking to. So this is why before you even get into the point where you should be getting objections, you should know who this person is. You should know what they do for work. You should know if they're married. You should know if they have kids. You should know where they live. You should know what they drive. You should know enough about them to know how to dictate the conversation, which will help eliminate some of the objections. So objections are a good thing. Again, we want to hear objections to eliminate them. I much rather have someone say, I don't want to do this because of X, 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 Y, Z, than have somebody say, oh, no thanks. I don't want no thanks. No thanks. No thanks what? Oh, I'm all set. All set with what? Like, what are you all set with? I can't take that anywhere unless I know what their issues are. If they tell me I'm all set with this because I don't like network marketing, I'm all set with this because I don't have enough skills, I'm all set with this because I don't have the money to start, now I have 3 topics that I can now overcome and put them in a position that after I cover those 3 things, now they're out of objections. So most of the time, what it fundamentally is most people's objections are just to cover up the real problem, which is self-doubt. But if we can pull objections out and not be afraid of them and kind of pull them out of them, we can start knocking them down. Because you're not, I'd rather have someone, if I go on a date with someone, I'd rather have someone say to me, hey, I'm not really into a second date because of this, this, and this, and this. Because most of the time, they could be just misunderstanding things, and I wouldn't get a second date because I don't know exactly what they're misunderstanding, so I don't have an opportunity to overcome those, rather than just saying, nah, I'm all set. You know, so be open and be willing and being excited to get objections, because that's what we're going to overcome. And trust me, is out of 1,000 people, you might get one person that says, I'm all in without an objection. It's very, 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 very rare. So we want to make sure that we get comfortable with that. Using well-directed questions can be key. So use questions to allow the prospect to come to their own realization. So this is the judo theory, right? You use the energy of their attack to counter. So MLM is bad. MLM is bad. That's their objection. In which way? My response would be, in which way? Now, because it's on them to prove what their objection is, what they're actually saying. Now, only the people at the top make the most money, is what they say back to me. Okay, well, who makes the most money at your current job? Oh, the boss. So how is that different from this? Explain that to me. Let them do the explaining to you. By maintaining control and using questions that will put the spotlight back on them, not only will you sound like a professional, but you will also be able to have them come to their own realization that their objection is nonsense, right? Oh, my objection is I don't want to spend money to make money. Why is that? What business in the world do you not have to spend money on to make money? Let them stumble on their words. Instead of you going in defensive mode and backpedaling, let them backpedal. If they're going to give you an objection, let them be the ones to stand behind that objection, because 99% of the time, they don't have anything to back up that initial statement. MLM is bad. Why? Well, I don't know. I just heard it, you know. I saw it in the newspaper once. It was kind of bad. Well, do you think that's credible information? Well, probably not. All right. So you let them come to their own realization. So, and this is a key fundamental thing that you can use to overcome any objection. So again, if you're taking notes, write this down. This is important. You'll hear this over and over again if you haven't heard it already. Feel, felt, found. Doesn't matter what objection it is, you can usually overcome it with feel, felt, found. So feel. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way at first too, but what I found was blank. So, hey, I don't have the money to start this. I don't have the money to start this. You know what, man? I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way at first too. So what you're doing is you're not coming at them. You're putting yourself alongside of them. You're understanding. You're listening, and you're understanding where they're coming from, and you're putting yourself in their shoes. But what I found was, I found myself at a point in my life that if I didn't have a few $100 to $1,000 to invest in myself, then whatever I was doing wasn't working. And if I wanted to be in a position where I did have that kind of money, then I would need to do something different to get it. Because if I keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that's a definition of insanity. So it doesn't matter what the objection is. You can use this structure to make them feel more comfortable and to be able to get your point across, right? It's much better than them saying, well, I don't have the money. Well, you should have the money. What do you mean you don't have the money? Yeah, you do. Like that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a balance, a nice symbolistic balance of emotion and logic, and making them feel comfortable. So those are my slides. So I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen, and I want to start talking to you guys. So I'm going to allow you guys to unmute yourselves. Allowed to unmute themselves. Okay, you're allowed to unmute yourself. So let's hear some objections. Fire them away.
Mr. Birks, it's Leslie Grignafini. May I ask one?
Yes, Miss Grignafini.
So today we were doing a three-way call, and the person said, well, I really need to check with my doctor in 2 months, and, it's probably not going to help me because I smoke 2 packs a day of cigarettes, and I just don't have the money. So I turned it around, and I'm not sure how you would turn it around. And I just said, wow, 2 packs of cigarettes a day, that must be pretty expensive. And I kind of went down that road of how, well, if you even gave up 1 pack a day of cigarettes, which is $10, you've already paid for 3 days worth of your triangle of health.
Yeah, I love it. And that's exactly the judo theory. You used what she told you to counter your attack. And you used her own words to offset what she was saying, which is perfect, And it always depends on what kind of relationship you have with the person, with how blunt you can be. One of the things I like to say in a non-condescending way is if they say something like, I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes and I don't have the money to do this, so I don't think I can do it. My thing is, well, how long do you want to have that problem? How long do you want to have the problem of not having money? How long do you want to have the problem of being unhealthy? You clearly it must not be affecting you that badly if you're not looking to change. And so a lot of times you can just put the spotlight back on them with how long do you want to have that problem? Is it really affecting your life, or do you think it could? Do you think that what do you think is better for the human body, to put 2 packs of cigarettes a day into your body for the next 20 years, or put nutrition in your body for the next 20 years? Because I'm sure what you're feeling right now, even if it's not bad yet, that 20 years from now, your future self is crying right now at the decisions you're making. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Who else? I see Nance, but I'm not made of money. I can't afford to sell stuff. Again, you can use feel, felt, found. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way too. I'm not made of money, but I don't know anybody who is made of money. But I do know the people that have money ended up trading some sort of service or good to get that income. And so in order to get something different out of life, you have to do something different. And the great thing about this is it's not necessarily sales, because we're marketing. We're showing people how to build a business off of referrals. But it's something that I truly think that if you fully understood, you would have a much different opinion. And that's a statement I make a lot. Because when I say that, it's not in a condescending way, but I say, oh, I completely understand your objection. But when you truly understand what this is, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a very different opinion. And by what I'm implying with that is that they haven't seen enough information yet. What I'm implying with that is there's something that they're missing, which hopefully will lead them into a situation, well, what am I not understanding? Or what more information, Also, just a side note, don't fall down the rabbit hole. Don't work too hard to if that woman, Nance, or gentleman said, I don't have enough money, and they just were adamant with, I don't have money, then let them be. Don't fall down the rabbit hole and try too hard to convince somebody. But use it as practice. But definitely use that situation to say, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found was I need to do something to change that. I do want to be made of money. I do want to have options. And when it comes down to it, when people say they don't like sales, I remind them that this is not sales. But a lot of the times I also say, but we do realize that everything in life is sales, right? I think we misunderstand the word of sales, because if you're trying to get your 5-year-old to eat its vegetables, you're trying to sell that 5-year-old those vegetables. And that's what you're doing, is you're trying to persuade them. Sales is just persuasion. That's all it is. And it's not something to be scared of or be ashamed of or avoid. Because if you avoid sales, you'll never get a date. If you avoid persuasion, you'll never find a date, because you'll never try to persuade someone to spend their life with you. So everything in life has some sort of persuasion to it, but that's more down the line. What else do we have here? We have my cousin tried one of these things before and it didn't work. So I love those. Because I hear that a lot. That's one of the top 5 that I'll get. I know my dog walker's cousin's brother's bunny rabbit did one of those in the 1970s and didn't work. I like to come back with a layer of things. Well, For one, there's a lot of things that didn't work in the past that do work now. You know, Facebook was once looked at like as a toy, and now is one of the most powerful business models in the world. And so there's a lot of things that just time needed to catch up for it to be in the right place for it to work. But also, I really would suggest against building your future successes based off of your friends' past failures. You know, that's a big critical point, because I want people to realize that, like, I don't even want you to dictate your future successes on your past failures. To dictate your future successes based off of somebody else's past failures is a very bad idea. You know, that's like saying that I saw a bunch of people that went to the gym in January, and when they quit in February after the New Year's resolution, that whole excitement wore off. They didn't get any fitter, so the gym doesn't work. You know, so I'm not going to go to the gym. You get out of it when you put into it. So, but I have faith in you. You know, I have faith that you have more to you than what maybe your cousin did. You know, I've tried stuff like that before. It doesn't work, so that kind of comes the same thing. I'm not like you. I can't sell stuff. Perfect. This is the perfect one to layer up with. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way first, but what I found was, because I'm not like you. I can't sell stuff. You must not know me that well, because I can't sell stuff either. That's not what this is about. See, the thing is I think if you truly understood what this was, you'd have a very different opinion. Because this isn't about sales whatsoever. This is about referrals. Have you ever made a referral in life? This is where you can pull a question back in. I'm not like you either. I don't like sales, but let me ask you a question. Have you ever made a referral before? Have you ever sent someone to your friend that was a hairdresser? You can't cut hair, but have you ever sent someone to your friend that could? Have you ever made a referral to a restaurant? You might not be a 5-star chef, but you can certainly refer someone to a 5-star chef, couldn't you? That's putting stuff in perspective for people. Putting things in perspective for people using analogies is powerful. And that's why you always hear me say analogies. And when I say them, write them down. If you're hearing me speak on a presentation, on a 3-way call, and I use analogies comparing us to Uber or comparing us to this or that, write them down, because you can use those. You know, I'm not a 5-star chef. I can't cook, but I can certainly refer someone that cooks. Now, even better, if you knew that prospect, I'm not like you, but I can't sell stuff. If you knew who said that and you knew enough about them, maybe they were a plumber. You know what? I'm not a plumber, but I can certainly refer you to a plumber, right? Like if refer someone to you because you're a plumber, right? That you don't have to have the skill to refer someone to the person that does have the skill. I've sold something like this before with no success. I'm all set. Awesome. You know, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way at first too. But what I found was, when I made a statement like that, see, I'm putting it in myself. I'm not saying they making it. I'm not saying when I made a statement like that, I realized that there were times that I went to restaurants and ate food that wasn't good, but I didn't stop eating at restaurants. You know, sometimes I use a funny one and be like, you know what? I was cheated on in the past by girls. It didn't mean that I changed my sexuality and started dating guys or stopped dating altogether. You know, so you cannot base one experience and have that based off your entire outlook on everything else in the world. Because if your whole dating experience was based off of the first person you ever dated, would you ever date again? Most of us wouldn't. You know, most of us probably wouldn't have made it so far in life. So don't put your past failures to dictate your future successes. I did this MLM before, it didn't work. We had a system in place too, and it didn't work. Well, what was the company? What'd you sell? How much time and energy did you put into it? What was your mentorship like? Ask questions. Like it's not your job to necessarily come back with a statement. Ask questions. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I know a lot of people that didn't work out for in the past too. Well, what was your situation like? How much time did you put into it? Let them explain to you what it is that went wrong with them. Because if they're like, well, you know, I did it for like 3 weeks and it didn't work out. I'm like, well, I went to the gym for 3 weeks once. I didn't see any results, so I stopped, and that means the gym doesn't work. You know, so ask questions. What do I say to someone who sends me a negative article on Kyani or network marketing? So that happens a lot as well. What I like to do is I like to keep a few positive articles. Like there's a great article by Forbes about network marketing and how it can save you retirement. But depending upon what the article is what I would use to overcome it. So that would be something you'd send to your mentor, be like, hey, I got sent this. But depending upon what it is, like a lot of the times it's like a seventh party review site. And that's just, and I'm like, that you're going to base your future on some guy that you don't know who it is that has 3 likes on his page. That's probably not the best place to be. But then a lot of times I can ask, like, we actually had a question of someone was like, there was bad reviews about the company. Can you name me one company that's over $1 million a year in sales that has not had a bad review or any kind of lawsuit or anything like that? Because I'm pretty sure, do you go to Walmart? Do you go to Target? Do you go to Sears? Do you go to Macy's? Have you eaten at McDonald's or Burger King? Because every one of them have had a lawsuit. Every one of them have had terrible reviews. Every one of them have groups that hate them. It's just what happens. It's like saying, it's like finding a celebrity is not a rumor about. It's impossible. So I put things back in perspective for people. Only 5% make it in this industry. Thank you. Thank you for this objection. Only 5% of people make it in this industry. Only 5% of people make it in business in general. Right back. Only 5% of people make it in business in general. 97% of people that start a small business fail in their first 3 years. So you're 100% right. But what is it? Ask them, what is the percentage of people that actually get results from the gym? And what does it take to get results? Why do most people that go to the gym don't get results? Make them answer that. Because it's because they don't work out hard enough or they don't put enough effort into it. I'm not afraid to say, yeah, absolutely. There's people that fail. There's a lot of people that fail. There's a lot of people that fail at going to the gym. There's a lot of people that fail in regular business. The key is self-accountability. But also, I'm not investing $200,000 in a restaurant that might not be here 3 years from now because we have a 97% of failure rate in regular business. It's risk to reward. I'm putting myself in a position where I can be that 5%. What makes you different from the 5%? Why? Why couldn't you be the 5%? Too busy, I'm in school, I can't find time. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. I've never met someone that wasn't busy. In this day and age, everybody's busy. But the beautiful thing is that when you truly understand what this is, you'll understand that this is built for the busy people. And there's not a single person that's too busy to work this. By making that statement, there's not a single person that's too busy to work this because it's built for busy people. What you're doing is you're completely just annihilating their objection because they don't have anything to come back to that. Because you just told them that there's nobody that's too busy to work this because it's built for busy people. It's built for people. But also, if you know the person well enough, you can counter that and be like, well, how long do you want to be busy? Because it depends on what they're busy doing. If they're busy with their kids and traveling and having fun, you can't use this. But if they're busy with working 3 jobs, well, how long do you want to be busy working for somebody else for? You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. I don't have any time. Well, how long do you want to have that problem for? That was something I saw in the beginning, like I didn't have time. I don't want to have that problem anymore. So I did this to get my time back. So again, knowing your prospect and knowing who said that will help overcome that objection. Paul says, I'm too busy, I'm at school, can't find the time. So school, I'm glad Mr. Moran pulled that up. So when you're talking to younger people or anybody that's been through school or is in school, a lot of the times I like to ask them, I start out my conversations with, awesome, what's your end goal in life? I'm going to school. What are you studying? All right, I'm studying business. All right, well, what do you want to do with that degree? We're not sure yet. Okay, awesome. So you want to do something with business. So this is why I love talking to people like you, because I know that statistically, only 47% of people that have a bachelor's degree actually get to use it. So you invested and made a wholesome, smart investment of $60,000 to hopefully be part of that 47%. But let me ask you a question. What kind of investment have you made in case you fall into the 53%? If you're too busy with a 50-50 bet, what happens if that bet misses? Would you go into Foxwoods and drop $60,000 on black or red right now without having some kind of backup? Don't be too busy with something that is a very high probability of not working out for you. Have some sort of backup. And that's what this is about. This is about having a backup. I hope that you get that business management degree and it works out for you. I hope that you get exactly the job that you want and nothing ever happens in your industry and you never get fired, you never get laid off, and you get increased raises every year, and you get on going on as many vacations as you want. But just in case you don't you think it might be smart to free up some time to help you in case you do fall into that 53%? You know, like if you're too busy going after the 47%, what happens when you go into the 53%? What happens if that happens? Are you putting any time allocated to protecting yourself in case you fall into that 53%? A few people ask me if I'm really making money. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. So when it comes to money objections about what money you've made, it's all about, and this is what scares the hell out of people because people don't know what to say, especially if you haven't had success yet. What I do is I smile. Hopefully this conversation's in person. If not, it's cool. But I like to just smile and be like, it's a business. This isn't a job. Like, this is a business. I'm positioning myself to have a six-figure income by the year 2020. I'm positioning myself. You know, it's just like a person going to college. Are you really making money yet? No, you have to go to college for 4 years to come out to hopefully make money. So there's a big difference between a business and a job. And that's where you can explain, again, educate to them, this isn't a job. We don't pay attention to hourly wages. You know, hourly wages won't get you ahead in life. This is an asset. So I'm positioning myself to receive a six-figure income or a five extra $3,000 a month or whatever your goal is in the next couple of years. That's what this is. You can use another one. If someone asks you how much money you've made yet and you've been in the business for a month, be like, my man or my girl, whatever. If I opened up a restaurant 3 weeks ago, would you ask me how much money I've made so far? Of course not. That'd be ridiculous because that's not how business works. Most companies take 3 years to be in the green. Luckily, I'll be in the green way before 90% of other businesses. But that's just not how businesses work. And smile and wink, you know, and just educate them. Don't get defensive. Don't get nervous. Don't lie. Do not lie. Don't say, I'm making $10,000 a month in my first week. You know, don't lie. But just maintain control of the conversation and smile and be cool and allow them to know that you know what you're talking about and use real life examples. Saying to someone, hey, how are you? They immediately respond, what are you trying to sell me? Well, hi to you too. Humor is the best way that you can go through a conversation. Having elective humor. You know, hey, what are you trying to sell me? Hey, I was saying hi. How are you doing? You know, like you must have some really bad people messaging you, huh? What made you think that? What made you think that? And so when they let them come back, oh, I get messages all the time. Yeah, man, I hate that. I hate when people just spam my inbox trying to sell me things. I was actually just trying to find out more about you. I was actually just trying to find out more information and see what your scoop was. I like to connect with people, you know, or if it depends on the context of the situation. Because if you're saying that to someone that just made a post about a product, and so this is a lot of times I see someone will make a post of, oh, I get migraines. I hate my migraines. My migraines are so terrible. And then you approach them in the inbox to try to give them a solution to that. And they're like, why are you trying to sell me stuff? Well, you just said your head hurt. So if the context is you're messaging them after they made a post or something about that, be like, I'm trying to be a solution to one of your problems. You know, if your migraines must not be that bad if you're against that. You know, so I thought your post was reaching out for help. I didn't know it was just a diary entry. So it's you don't say that. That's a little wise, but I think it's a good one. It's funny. But make sure that you know the context of what they're saying. How would you handle the objection of a negative significant other? That's a tough one. So again, this all depends on the context on how close you are with that person, because you walk that fine line of getting in between a relationship and having them both attack you. So you have to be very careful with that. But a good basic concept is be like, man, you know, I've seen this happen a lot. Maybe it happened to you. You can use feel, felt, found. Don't use feel, felt, found if it hasn't happened to you, because you can't say, oh, my wife hated it too, when you don't have a wife. That doesn't work. But be like, I've seen this happen with a lot of people. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, closest people to us are very protective of us. And it actually stops us from seeing new things because they're trying to avoid us feeling pain. And so I appreciate what your significant other is trying to protect you from. But I think when they truly understand what this is, they'll have a very different opinion. So again, write that down. Write that phrase down. I think when you truly understand what this is, or I think when you see enough details about this, or you understand the details, you have a very different opinion. But you can use that with them as well. They'll have a very different opinion. Love you too. Nice love. When you try to connect with someone in a three-way text message and they say, no, I don't want to talk to anyone, how would you handle this if they have seen everything exposed to webinar but still on the fence, seeing positive and negativity, seeing positive, negative, but they still are not open to a call or text? Don't want to talk to anybody but you, that is. Well, you say, oh, that's completely fine. You know, you can sit in the bleachers all day long. You know, I'm not going to force you to talk to anybody. But if you want to, instead of just watch people win and succeed, you need to actually get in the game. And so if you want an income and time freedom, and it's a phone call away, what's stopping you is getting on the phone call with someone that can help you get that. Then either A, you don't want it bad enough, or B, you're making a terrible decision of letting that come in between you and your goal. You know, I've been in that situation. They just won't get on the phone. But you have to remember also, if they won't get on the phone to talk to someone about the opportunity, they're probably not going to get on the phone to expand the opportunity and to work their own business. So somebody like that, until they conquer that to get on the phone with your mentor, they shouldn't be in the business, because even if they signed up right now, they're not going to succeed. Because if they won't get on the phone to talk to your mentor, then they're not going to get on the phone to expand this business, and they're not going to make money, and it's going to come back on you. So that's something that you want to tackle before they even join the business. And this happened a lot of times. I did this in the beginning. I was just trying to get anybody and everybody to sign up, and I wasn't thinking of setting up the future. And I was signing up people that probably shouldn't have been signed up. You know, they liked what they saw, they wanted it, but they just truly didn't have the habits or the personality to make something of this. You know, and again, this is not for everybody. I wish it was. I wish everybody had the right habits and had the right mindset and had the positivity. Unfortunately, people don't. And it hurts you more to get that quick QV to sign up someone that's super negative that won't talk on the phone and might just be signing up to shut you up. It'll hurt you more in the future when that person doesn't succeed and now you have someone out there talking about how they tried that and they didn't make any money. Well, no, you didn't try that, because you didn't even get on the phone with your mentor in the first place. So you certainly didn't try this the way it's supposed to work. But a lot of times I have my team put things in perspective when they're using it as an edification. Listen, if this guy's willing to talk to you, like, it's crazy of you to say no. Like, if this person is helping all these people, is willing to help you, and you don't want to take that help, then you're literally getting your own way. I don't know what to say, but maybe this isn't the thing for you. You know, someone with another company. What's that mean, Don? Someone with another company. Let's see.
Hi, it's Dawn.
Hi.
I'm driving. So I had a gentleman that I was talking with, and I kind of used what Mr. Nieves had said on the Breakfast of Champions the other day, where if you're open to an opportunity, I would love to share some information that his positive Facebook posts were something that I thought would be great for our team. And he wrote back that, thank you for the thoughts, but I'm an entrepreneur with another company. So I had talked to Miss Shaw, and she said, just ask him what he's doing. And he said that he is selling, honestly, I can't look at what it is, but he said he has a salon with his wife, and then they have some online sales that they do. And I haven't responded to him yet. So I did have another person the other day who had posted about having issues with headaches. So I had reached out to her, and I had even sent her some samples to try. And then I just reached back out, and she's with Modere. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And so she said, oh, I'm financially having a struggle right now. I have to cut back on my Modere. So just people who are with a different company, not succeeding or not posting about that they're succeeding, just a way to come back with something, I guess is my question.
So was that woman that was with Modere just a customer of Modere, or?
No, I would assume she's a business partner, but I met her through Facebook, and I reached out because she had talked about having these constant migraines. So I had reached out and shared some product information with her, and then I sent her a sample of all three of the Triangle of Health just to give a try.
Mm-hmm. Well, is the first guy in network marketing? Do you know if the entrepreneurial online business is network marketing or not?
Hang on one second, and I'll.
If it is, then it'll cover both people. When it comes to other network marketers, if they have not had success, you can compliment them and be like, awesome, I love to hear that you're in network marketing. It means you're open-minded, and it means that you were looking for something more. But if you're in a situation where that specific company is not giving you what you need, you're still open-minded though, right? And ask them a question. Be like, I know you're open-minded because you joined the industry, but if your company's not giving you what you need, then are you still open-minded? And let them say, yeah, well, I'm still open-minded. Well, then let's check out what we have going on here, so at least you have better options. Now, another tier to that is if this is somebody that has success in another company, I love to put it back on myself and be like, hey, I know you're with another company that's great, and this is if they have a team. I know personally that I have to look at everything else that's out there because I couldn't ethically be a good leader and lead a team if I didn't know what else was out there. Because I can't tell people and recruit people into my business and tell them that we have the best thing going if I don't know what else is out there, because that would be just straight lying. And I would be misinformed, and I'd be leading my team. So I like to remind them that my loyalty as a leader in network marketing is not to the company. And I mean this. I love Kayani and I love Team Fusion. I have the Team Fusion logo tattooed on my arm. I love it, but my loyalty first is to you guys. If I saw something coming down the pipe 5 years from now that something was wrong and they made a bad decision, and there was another opportunity out there that was better fitted for me and my team to have success, you best believe I'm taking my team there. And I mean that. And when I say that to another leader, I'd say, hey, I have to know what else is out there because I owe it to my team. I owe it to my team. Even though I'm having success here, maybe my team's not having success there, and there's a place that my team might have better success. And I need to know that. So don't you think that it'd be good to look into what I have going on here, and I can look into what you have going on there so we can educate ourselves? And kind of put it back on them, because that situation kind of boxes them into a corner where they either show that they're not a good leader and they're like they don't care about their team, or they'll be open to look at what you got going on. That's if they have a team. Those other two people, like I said, I need to know a little bit more information about. But run with the whole like, oh, you're clearly you're open-minded because you're an entrepreneur and you're in the industry. So are you still open-minded? And let them say either yes or no. If they say no, well, be like, isn't that what you hate about what you do so much? We try to deal with closed-minded people all day. How are you going to open people's minds if your mind's not open?
Thank you.
Of course. What is a better alternative to tell people you can make money on their phone in their spare time? I feel like most people immediately turn away from this. I feel like most people immediately turn away from that if that's the case that you're having, because they're haunted by so many online ads about making extra money. So again, that's where knowing them enough to make a direct statement, like if you just go through their Facebook and see that they're a single mom, hey, I'd like to show you an extra way to make extra money for that works great with being a single mom. Maybe it'll help you with your kids, and make it a little bit more catered to them, so it doesn't sound like a spam message. But if that doesn't intrigue somebody, move forward. I'd rather find out that the words "make extra money" from your phone is a turnoff to somebody right away before I waste any more time with them. Because if they're not interested in making extra money, then they're not interested in what we're doing, because that's basically what we're doing. So I wouldn't be, that's the biggest thing with all of these, is don't be afraid of the people that don't want to do what we're doing. We have to remember that we're out here to make a 1% income. Diamond is it's almost a $200,000 a year income. That's 1%. That's the 1% of America's income. That's 4 times the income of the average household, residually, which comes with having to do the 1% of work that 99% of people don't want to do. So we have to go in mind with, even just using 95.5, 95% of people are going to say no, because 95% of people are designed in a program to work a job. We're looking for the 5% of people that are open, that when they hear money, their ears perk up. When they hear time freedom, their ears perk up. So if 95 people say no and 5 say yes, you're still on the right track. So don't be, there's nothing that you can't, write this down, everybody. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. I promise you that. I am very good at what I do. I'm very good at communication. I don't have 100% closure rate. It's impossible. I can box somebody in the corner and get them to see how great this is and how much of a bad path they're on. And when it comes down to it, they're too stubborn to do anything about it, or too lazy to do anything about it. That has nothing to do with us. Then again, a situation like this, the person that introduced the business to me is someone that I didn't even really know, and I didn't care for too much, and I just was the right person. He was very new and didn't know how to show the business, and he showed the business in a very poor way, and I still signed up because I understood business. And so don't get wrapped up with the no's. Know the no's are just leading you to the yeses. That's it. And the whole objection theme is to get you to practice communication skills, to become a better communicator, which is going to better your life in general. But it's not to sit there and just every day get into these battles with people and try to think of what's the perfect thing to say to somebody, because there's no such thing as a perfect thing to say to somebody. You're looking for the 5% of people that have good habits, that want more out of life, that hasn't found that yet, and is willing to look at stuff. That's what we're doing. And that's a good thing. Like when I hear 95.5, when I hear 95% of people are not going to be interested in doing this, that excites me. Again, perspective. If 100% of people said yes to this, there would be no opportunity. There would be no opportunity. The reason that there is a huge financial and time freedom gain from this is the fact that most people don't think like we do. And if everybody thought like we did, there would be no money to be made. There is no opportunity without adversity at all. So it excites me that there's a smaller demographic of people that this appeals to, because if it wasn't, then we would be in a very bad situation. We wouldn't make any money. Everybody would be doing it. Does that make sense? It's the same thing with Facebook ads, right? Facebook ads were super cheap. And we watched in the last 3 years, 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds and people just throwing up random products that they found with drop shipping and buying ads for 15 cents, and it made $1 million and made a ton of money because they were the first ones to look into it. They're the first ones to start doing it. Nowadays, that same ad costs $1.95. versus 5 cents, and that you can make so much less money because everybody else is doing it. Same thing with Facebook. If you were one of the first people to say yes to Facebook and invest in Facebook, there's opportunity there. When everybody knows that Facebook's a good opportunity, when everybody would love to have Facebook shares, there's not that opportunity burst is not there anymore. And so I'm excited. I dread the day that every single person you talk to says yes, because there's no opportunity anymore at that point. Does that make sense to everybody? Without adversity, there is no opportunity. Anything else? Appreciate it. Love it. So yeah, again, this is just about building better communication skills and understanding what we're doing and fall in love with the process. You know, I actually have a training that I'm making that I'm going to put together and do soon about falling in love with the process. Instead of being turned off by objections and rejections and getting no's and seeing that as a negative thing, see it as a positive thing. And one of the examples I say, most people, unfortunately, most people are like alcohol. You know, I used to be a big drinker, and I used to claim I loved the taste of whiskey. I'm like, I love the taste of whiskey. No, I did not. When I look back, no, I did not. I loved the effects of whiskey. And what's funny is we glorify and socialize alcohol and how much fun the end result is of being drunk and being inebriated and being loose and that feeling that we drink fermented fruit. Like, let's go pick up fruit, throw it in a bucket, leave it in the corner for 6 months, and then drink it. That sounds disgusting when you think of just the process, right? But we do that because we like the end result. We like the inebriation. We like the loose feeling. And so the process becomes enjoyable. I'll drink the shot and like it because I like what's going to come from it. And so this is the same process, is that you have to see the rejections and the no's and the hours spent when others are watching TV, these hours you're spending learning and communicating and building your business. Fall in love with that process because you know what the process is going to lead you. Because I promise you, every single one of you, if you stay consistent to the process and truly understand this process, if you stay consistent, will bring you that result. Will have you at diamond. The time frame is up to you. But if you truly understand that process will bring the result, you fall in love with the process. I love when people tell me no. I love when people say no to me, because I understand that it's just one more person closest to a yes. And even more so, I love the fact that that person that said no to me, that person that made fun of me, that person that ditched me in an event, that person that talked one of my friends out of doing the business, that person that made a bad post about it on social media, those people go in a file box for me. Those people get lined up, and I can't wait 2 years from now or a year from now to go back and say, hey, remember when you said this on January 4th, 2016? Remember when you said that? Oh, look what happened. Look what happened. Do you remember that opinion of yours? Do you remember when you didn't show up to an event? That event that led to this happening for me? There is no better feeling than that, I promise you. And so remember that everybody that tries to take a shot at you or says no or not now, a lot of no's are just not now, someday either they're going to be right or you're going to be right. The only thing that dictates that is your commitment. If you're not committed to yourself, then they'll be right. Then everything they said about this not working and this not doing anything for you and you being stupid about doing it will be right if you don't stay committed and consistent. If you stay committed and consistent, then you're the one that's right. And they're the ones that are eating their words. So which one do you want to be? You know? So I love you guys. Exactly 7 o'clock. I'm glad that we wrapped this up in exactly an hour. Hopefully this was valuable for you guys. If you guys have any other questions, hit me up. If you guys like this, please comment on the Facebook post I made about doing this. And I'll post a recording there, but comment. I want to build the viewership, the views of these trainings to get more people to tune in and get some of this knowledge and experience and education to better suit you guys. There is nothing more in this world that I want than you guys to succeed. Honest to God, I'm not here for my success anymore. I was when I first started. I saw the money that Mr. Nieves was making, and I was here for me. when it comes down to it, I promise you that the reason I'm here is because I absolutely love creating success stories. And I want that to be every one of you. But it needs consistency and it needs commitment. I'm committed to you, and I promise you I'll never give up on you. Don't give up on yourself. Love you guys.